Government shifts traffic fines to warnings. DOTCAT reaffirms visitor safety. And a new $400 million Scarborough Secondary coming. Good evening, I am Kristen Salandi and you're locked into the Tobago Updates television news for Monday 19th of January 2026. Now to our top story. On the nation's roads, a new approach is taking shape. Transport Minister Eliza Kerr says traffic enforcement is shifting from punishment to correction, with a fixed penalty warning system giving drivers time to fix defects before facing fines. But while the government insists the move reflects international best practice, the opposition argues it's simply a response to backlash. More in this report from Martina Renales Salazar.
Transport and Civil Aviation Minister Eliza Kerr says the government is moving to shift traffic enforcement from a penalty-driven system to a corrective approach. Speaking in the House of Representatives on Friday, he outlined amendments to the Motor Vehicles and Road Traffic Bill that would introduce a fixed penalty warning system. The measure will give motorists time to address defects in their vehicles before facing fines, replacing the current prosecution-heavy framework. Zakaru noted that the existing system has been burdening enforcement, the justice system, and the public with delays and inefficiency.
The objective of this bill is the implementation of mandatory fixed penalty warnings for specific traffic violations in the 9th schedule. At present, the existing legislative framework relies heavily on prosecution-based enforcement for a wide range of traffic offences. This approach has placed significant pressure on law enforcement agencies, members of the public, and the courts, often resulting in delays and administrative burdens.
Zakaru said this system gives motorists warnings for 18 violations and allows them to rectify them within 3 to 7 business days, depending on the violation. Opposition MP Colin Imbert, however, rejected that view, calling the move hypocritical rather than merciful. He argued the amendment was prompted by public backlash after the government's controversial decision to double traffic fines.
The backlash was so powerful that I dare say that the majority of supporters of the UNC were outraged about this deception. And this is just an attempt to pacify those people who became so angry at this betrayal. So we need to put this bill into context. It follows the draconian increases in fines, and it is now an attempt to soften the blow of those terrible fines.
Minister Eli Zakaru maintains the bill reflects international best practice, offering motorists a fair chance to correct violations before facing penalties. The debate now continues over whether this shift will truly deliver safer roads and a more balanced justice system. Martina Renales Salazar reporting for Tobago Updates Television News.
The Division of Tourism, Culture, Antiquities and Transportation is responding to an isolated incident involving a Canadian visitor who was assaulted and robbed on January 16th. In a media release, the division expressed sympathy and well wishes to the victim, stressing that the safety and well-being of residents and visitors remain a top priority. It highlighted ongoing efforts to strengthen protective measures across Tobago, including the Safe Tobago mobile app, which provides real-time alerts and allows users to report incidents directly. The division is encouraging visitors to remain vigilant and exercise personal caution, while assuring the public that updates will be provided as the situation develops. Authorities say they remain committed to ensuring Tobago continues to be a safe and welcoming destination. The honeymoon is over. Fresh off a historic 15-0 clean sweep, Tobago's Chief Secretary Fali Augustine has moved from victory rallies to a no-excuses infrastructure war room. With $400 million on the line for a single school and legacy projects stalled in approval gridlock, the mandate for 2026 is clear: deliver or be replaced. Jewel Green George brings this report.
The ink is barely dry on the inauguration papers, but for the 13th Tobago House of Assembly, the clock is already ticking. Chief Secretary Augustine has officially triggered a 100-day construction blitz, putting the relocation of Scarborough Secondary School at the top of a high-priority list. The $400 million project will see the institution move from its eroding waterfront site to the safety of Bacolet Park. But, as Augustine warned on Friday, the time for tardy state agencies is over.
I have no patience with agencies, state agencies that are tardy in doing their work. And I'm saying clearly, if EMA tardy, if Town and Country tardy, I will move on with or without them, right?
It's a sentiment echoed across the western and northern districts. The Corland Early Child Care and Education Centers, a critical early childhood center, has been stuck in what the Chief Secretary calls an approval gridlock despite an absolute need for student spaces. Meanwhile, the Melva Jofield Youth Hub in Darrell Spring, named after community stalwart and mother of recently sworn-in Assemblyman Ricky Jofield, is being fast-tracked to provide digital and vocational lifelines to the community youth.
Government policy is that we must have community nurseries so that parents have avenues for their young charges, responsible avenues for their young charges. We cannot be delayed on this. This is about getting the work done expeditiously and efficiently.
The ambition doesn't stop at education. The THA is eyeing the Northwest with the Golden Lane Recreation Center, part of a massive 44-acre real estate acquisition intended to double as a Category 5 emergency shelter. But the ultimate message wasn't for the public. It was for the secretaries, who will sit around the horseshoe.
Within the next 3 months, we are looking to have the start of construction on the Corland ECCE. We're looking to open the Melva Jofield Youth Hub. We are also looking at the start of Scarborough Secondary School and how we get that project started in this quarter as well.
With the Augustine ultimatum of a 9-month prove-yourself deadline hanging over his team, the Chief Secretary is betting that a lean and mean administrative approach will finally bridge the gap between policy and delivery. Reporting for Tobago Updates Television News, I'm Jewel Green George.
Up next, Tobago's future sparks fiery exchange in Parliament.
Yes, you come in. Long time I see you. This station complete. Ready for children party. Mommy! Jay, you can't go nowhere with these children. And you know you can't depend on Kevin neither Stephen to see about them. Yeah, total waste. So I supposed to stay home whole time? Jada is 12. She could see about them. You just leave Jada to see about Kia and Kayla? I thought it was your mother or your sister. Who? Them always busy. Jada could handle that. She cooking and cleaning a long time. And the next two, better know what time it is. It's only me, you know. I will talk to my mother. She just home these days. She will make sure the children okay. Alright. Let me see the moves for later.
Before you ramage, make sure the children okay. Call 996 to report all child abuse now. A message from the Children's Authority of Trinidad and Tobago.
Welcome to Tobago Glass Supplies Limited, where innovation meets excellence and service reigns supreme. Our commitment is simple: to provide high-quality, innovative aluminum, vinyl, and glass solutions for both commercial and residential spaces. At TGSL, we don't just meet needs, we exceed expectations. Our range includes the finest aluminum cladding options, setting new standards in durability and style. Driven by our passion to elevate, we aim to be the leading supplier in the Caribbean market while retaining our identity as a family-owned business. Because at Tobago Glass Supplies Limited, it's not just about products. It's about relationships, it's about you. Innovation, quality, service. That's Tobago Glass Supplies Limited.
The Caribbean is more than just a place. It's a spirit, resilient, vibrant, and full of possibility. It's who we are and the heart of everything we do. For over 150 years, we've been right here, invested in the Caribbean, its people, and its progress. And today, we're going even further. We're deepening our commitment to the region, continuing to invest in the networks, services, and digital solutions that move Caribbean businesses forward. Whether you are a mid-sized business or multinational player, we bring you resilient connectivity, personalized service, and tailored IT solutions, all powered by local teams that truly have your back. We're here to help you navigate challenges, grow, and achieve your goals with practical solutions, reliable networks, and a partnership rooted in trust and your long-term success. Liberty Business, rooted in the Caribbean, committed to you.
Our world is filled with rhythm. Rhythm that's unapologetic, infectious, timeless. Rhythm is commitment in action. It's how we show up for each other with unrelenting support that goes the distance. Rhythm lives in the tiny beats of our most intimate moments and the seismic roars of our biggest achievements. Rhythm is resilience in motion. So even when things go out of sync, we do what it takes to bring the rhythm back. At Flow, we understand your rhythm because we live it. That's why we're dedicated to building a network as resilient as you, with a team of familiar faces working every day to keep you on beat. You're at the heart of everything we do, and our commitment is to keep your rhythm flowing, no matter what.
Thanks for staying with us. Tobago's development was in sharp focus during Friday's sitting of the House of Representatives. Opposition leader Penelope Beckles reaffirmed the PNM's commitment to the island, but her remarks drew a pointed response from Tobago West MP Joel Sampson, who argued the party's political license had been rejected at the polls. More in this report from Martina Renales Salazar.
Opposition leader Penelope Beckles has reaffirmed the People's National Movement's commitment to Tobago's development. Speaking during Friday's sitting, she acknowledged that while the island may not have received everything it sought, the PNM remains proud of the projects and programs completed under its leadership. Beckles stressed that the party continues to support the passage of legislation aimed at benefiting the people of Tobago.
I will say that the People's National Movement has always been committed to Tobago. It is fair to say that Tobago may not have received everything that Tobago wanted, but we know that in consultations and discussions that we on this side can say that we are proud of the commitment we have had to Tobago, of the projects, of the many programs that has been completed under the People's National Movement.
Responding to the opposition leader Penelope Beckles, Tobago West MP Joel Sampson argued that the People's National Movement has lost its political standing in Tobago. He said the party received, quote, 15 demerit points, end quote, on election day, effectively disregarding its political license on the island. Sampson added that while Beckles claimed the PNM has always been committed to Tobago, the results showed otherwise.
I want to address a couple of things mentioned by the member. And she stated that Tobago has always been on the agenda. And I'm wondering why they're on that side here and why the 15 demerit points they received on Monday permanently disregarding their political license in Tobago. Why are they seated on that side? But it just goes to show that Tobagonians wanted blue ones and not pennies.
The exchange highlighted differing perspectives on Tobago's development and the role of the People's National Movement. As debate continues, both government and opposition remain focused on shaping policies and legislation that impact communities across Tobago. Martina Renales Salazar reporting for Tobago Updates Television News.
The Junior Panorama Finals at the Queen's Park Savannah showcased the very best of youth talent as the 21 and under champions were crowned. Heartfelt commendations go to every band and participant whose performances celebrated excellence, culture, and national pride, reaffirming Junior Panorama's vital role in shaping the future of steel pan. Tobago's youth steel bands delivered commendable performances at the Junior Panorama Finals at the Queen's Park Savannah last night, earning spots in the top 10. Uptown Fascinators Youth Orchestra placed 8th. RBC Redemption Song Setters Youth Academy secured 9th. And Cats and Jammers Youth finished 10th. Their achievements highlight the depth of young musical talent on the island and Tobago's continued contribution to the national steel pan movement. Many business stakeholders have raised alarms over proposed district changes, warning of possible disruptions to businesses, workers, and students as the ZOSO bill passes. According to Martin George, Trinidad and Tobago Chamber of Commerce President, as residents navigate altered routes, the challenge lies in managing these changes effectively, ensuring that daily life, commutes, schooling, and commercial activity can continue with minimal interruption. Here are the details.
Attorney at law Martin George has raised several important questions before endorsing these bills. The government must clarify their true purpose. It's not enough to follow Jamaica's example blindly. The The key question is whether the model has truly succeeded. If it has, why should it continue indefinitely? And what evidence supports its long-term effectiveness?
One has to first understand from the government what is their real objective in these bills, right? I mean, it's not just to say, well, we are patterning what Jamaica has done. You know, the question is, what has really been the success of the Jamaican example? In other words, if it is that it is successful, then why is it something that has to be continued almost indefinitely? Because that's what you've seen in Jamaica. And you have to ask yourself, is that the intention here in Trinidad and Tobago, that you're going to have, you know, almost indefinite?
Members of the TNT Chamber of Commerce have raised concerns over the proposed changes, questioning their impact on businesses, workers commuting through affected districts, and school children traveling to and from school. The central issue is how authorities can manage the situation effectively, balancing operational needs while minimizing disruption to daily life and community routines.
The point that was made in the news just now about, you know, the restrictions on business, that is something that is a serious concern. In fact, I saw the TNT Chamber. They came out already and raised concerns as to how is it going to affect businesses? How is it going to affect working people who have to go in and out of these districts? How is it going to affect school children who have to get to and from school? You know, so, you know, you ask yourself, how do you manage such a scenario effectively while objectively reducing crime and still not, you know, causing total havoc and disruption in the lives of people?
According to George, managing these proposed changes will require careful planning and coordination. Authorities must balance the needs of businesses, commuters, and students while minimizing disruption. Effective communication and clear guidelines and proactive solutions will be essential to ensure that daily life continues smoothly and the community can adapt successfully to the new measures. This is Aliyah Balgobin reporting for Tobago Updates Television News.
The Trinidad and Tobago Registrar General's Department is purging its database starting today, January 19th. The department is moving to strike thousands of non-compliant firms from the official register. Under Section 489 of the Companies Act, businesses failing to file annual returns for 3 or more years face immediate removal. In a January 12th public notice, the department stated that 12,595 companies are non-compliant and that owners have until February 11th, 2026 to regularize their status. Once struck off, a company loses its legal personality, rendering it unable to trade or hold bank accounts. This enforcement follows a 2025 amnesty period that covered over 40,000 entities. Directors are urged to use the company's registry online system immediately to avoid permanent dissolution. The news continues in a moment, but why wait? You can follow every story, every update, all the time. Join the conversation and find us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Tobago Updates. Don't miss a beat. We'll be right back.
Courts is well known as the Caribbean's largest retailer, providing consumers for generations with the very best products to enhance their homes. This year, we bring our expertise to businesses. Courts Business Solutions will serve small, medium, and large companies with the very best products at the most competitive prices, backed by warranties and after-sales support. Hoteliers, office managers, restaurants, and so many more. Courts Business Solutions, a brand of the Unicomer Group.
Are you in a dispute with a registered investment service provider of the TTSEC? Or maybe you're the victim of an investment scam? You can lodge a complaint or submit an anonymous tip to the Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission. Download our Investor Protection app or go to ttsec.org.tt to access our complaint form or submit an anonymous tip. Write a clear summary of your complaint. Submit copies of supporting documents along with the originals for verification. Provide a copy of the feedback received from the entity regarding your complaint. All investor complaints or scam reports submitted by the public are acknowledged and reviewed by the TTSEC. Investigations are pursued based on the outcome of the review. Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission, protecting the interests of investors and the public. You invest, we protect. Everyone benefits.
When the game is on, you don't want to miss the best moments. With AMPLIA TV, you can enjoy our ultimate sports package and watch your favorite games on the go. Stay connected and informed with sports news, scores, and stats with AMPLIA's fastest internet speeds. Up to 1 GB fiber internet, you can stream riveting football action, cricket, NBA games, and much more. With AMPLIA, it's game on. Visit amplia.co.tt or call 800-4663. AMPLIA. Do more, live more.
Hey, you come in. Long time I see you. This station pumping. Ready for children party. Mommy! Jay, you can't go nowhere with these children. And you know you can't depend on Kevin neither Stephen to see about them. Yeah, total waste. So I supposed to stay home whole time? Jada is 12. She could see about that. You just leave Jada to see about Kia and Kayla? I thought it's your mother or your sister. Who? Them always busy. Jada could handle that. She cooking and cleaning a long time. And the next two, better know what time it is. It's only me, you know. I will talk to my mother. She just home these days. She will make sure the children okay. Alright. Let me see the moves for later.
Before you ramage, make sure the children okay. Call 996 to report all child abuse now. A message from the Children's Authority of Trinidad and Tobago.
Welcome to Tobago Glass Supplies Limited, where innovation meets excellence and the service reigns supreme. Our commitment is simple: to provide high-quality, innovative aluminum, vinyl, and glass solutions for both commercial and residential spaces. At TGSL, we don't just meet needs, we exceed expectations. Our range includes the finest aluminum cladding options, setting new standards in durability and style. Driven by our passion to elevate, we aim to be the leading supplier in the Caribbean market while retaining our identity as a family-owned business. Because at Tobago Glass Supplies Limited, it's not just about products. It's about relationships, it's about you. Innovation, quality, service. That's Tobago Glass Supplies Limited.
Welcome back. Barbadians will head to the polls on Wednesday, February 11th, after Prime Minister Mia Mottley formally announced the date of the country's next general election on Saturday night. The announcement came during a Barbados Labour Party BLP nomination meeting at Westbury Primary School, where Attorney-at-Law Michael Lashley, KC, was confirmed as the party's candidate for the city of Bridgetown. His nomination completes the BLP slate of candidates across all 30 parliamentary constituencies. Addressing supporters in Bridgetown, Mottley revealed that she had earlier advised President Jeffrey Bostic that Parliament will be dissolved today, Monday, January 19th, officially triggering the election period. She said the necessary election writs have been approved by the Attorney General and are being prepared for issuance. According to the Prime Minister, nomination day is set for January 27th, after which the official campaign will move into full gear. The election is being called months ahead of the constitutional deadline, setting the stage for an early national decision on Barbados' next government. Tobago's long-standing mantra is being clean, green, safe, and serene is facing a reality check. Chief Secretary Fali Augustine has admitted the Assembly is failing miserably in executing its environmental goals, pointing to a staggering $10 million electricity bill for a single public building. In response, a new energy task force has been launched to overhaul how the island consumes power. Here's more from reporter Jewel Green-George.
For years, Tobago has marketed itself as an eco-paradise, but the internal operations of the Tobago House of Assembly tell a different story. From office lights left on all night to a fleet dependent on diesel, the carbon footprint of the island's government is under scrutiny. Chief Secretary Fali Augustine is now calling for an immediate assessment of the Assembly's energy consumption.
In actual execution, we fail miserably, because we don't follow through with the concept. Imagine for a moment when we said Tobago was clean and green, that this was a space with the most solar panels per square mile or per capita.
The poster child for this inefficiency is the Shaw Park Cultural Complex. Despite costing nearly $1 billion to construct, the building lacks functional windows for ventilation, forcing industrial air conditioning to run 24 hours to prevent mold. The result? A massive drain on the public purse.
The electricity bill at Shaw Park Complex is as much as $10 million. That's $1 billion. You know, you could do with 10 million, that's 1 billion. And you know why it's 10 million? Because we have a building at Shaw Park that the air conditioning cannot be taken off, because once it's off, we end up with molding issues.
To fix this, the THA has appointed Melanie Trim to lead an energy task force. Her mandate is clear: deliver a roadmap within 3 months to transition the THA away from traditional fuels. This includes a new policy to restrict the purchase of diesel and gasoline vehicles for non-industrial use, favoring electric vehicles and hybrid technology.
That's the first task force we are going to implement, and we are going to ask Ms. Melanie Trim to engage us and lead that task force on our behalf, and within a 3-month period, give us some recommendations for us to follow.
With the global push towards net zero, Tobago's administration is finally acknowledging that green must be more than a slogan. It must be a fiscal and operational reality. Jewel Green-George, Tobago Updates Television News.
Senior officials of the Public Services Association, PSA, along with representatives from several departments within the Tobago Regional Health Authority, TRHA, met with Deputy Chief Secretary and Secretary of Health, Wellness and Social Protection, Dr. Faith Brebner, and the TRHA management team to discuss outstanding industrial relations matters. The meeting focused on proposals submitted by the PSA relating to salaries, cost of living allowances, and other employee benefits affecting workers within the authority. According to information coming out of the discussions, the TRHA has agreed to take the proposals to its board of directors for consideration. The authority will also work through the Ministry of Health to seek the required guidelines from the Chief Personnel Officer, CPO. These steps are necessary to facilitate the completion and formal sign-off of negotiations for the 2014 to 2016 and 2017 to 2019 bargaining period, which remain unresolved. Government pushes age reform, cannabis oversight. The government is rewriting the rules on age and access. Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar has unveiled sweeping reforms raising the legal age for alcohol and cannabis to 21 and gambling to 25. It's part of a broader push to protect young people, tighten oversight, and set the stage for a regulated medicinal cannabis industry. More in this report from Martina Renales Salazar.
Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar has announced plans to raise the legal age for alcohol and cannabis consumption to 21 and the gambling age to 25. Speaking in the lower house on Friday, she said the government will move to amend 7 pieces of legislation. The changes will set new age limits for sale, purchase, possession, and consumption of liquor, tobacco, and cannabis, while also laying the groundwork for a regulated medical cannabis industry. Persad-Bissessar stressed that the reforms are aimed at protecting young people and strengthening oversight in these sectors.
Where that bill seeks to amend about 7 pieces of legislation, which include Dangerous Drugs Act, Registration of Clubs, Tobacco Control Act, Children Act, Liquor License Act, Gambling and Gaming Act, Cannabis Control Act. All of these amendments to be brought for us to deal with setting age limits for the sale, purchase, possession, or consumption of intoxicating liquor or tobacco, to change that age from 18 to 21. For the sale, purchase, possession, or consumption of cannabis from 18 to 21, and in respect of gambling from 21 to 25.
Persad-Bissessar also highlighted ongoing challenges with the country's cannabis laws, noting concerns raised by the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service since decriminalization in 2019.
Since the former government decriminalized cannabis in 2019, the T&T Police Service raised enforcement and regulatory challenges that have hindered effective policing of the new laws. Lack of clarity regarding 4 plants per person, lack of guidelines to ensure cultivation only happens in secure private spaces, the need to prohibit cannabis use in public places, and several other key issues have been raised. We are looking again, as I say, for reform with respect to that law.
As part of the reform, Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar says a new licensing authority will be created to oversee medical cannabis products. She insists these measures will lay the foundation for a more regulated, transparent, and a resilient framework to guide the nation's future. Martina Renales Salazar reporting for Tobago Updates Television News.
More news and the weather report when we return. Stay with us.
You come in. Long time I see you. This station pumping. Ready for children party. Mommy! Jay, you can't go nowhere with these children. And you know you can't depend on Kevin neither Stephen to see about them. Yeah, total waste. So I supposed to stay home whole time? Jada is 12. She could see about them. You just leave Jada to see about Kia and Kayla? I thought it's your mother or your sister. Who? Them always busy. Jada could handle that. She cooking and cleaning a long time. And the next 2 better know what time it is. It's only me, you know. I will talk to my mother. She just home these days. She will make sure the children okay. Alright. Let me see the moves for later.
Before you ramage, make sure the children okay. Call 996 to report all child abuse now. A message from the Children's Authority of Trinidad and Tobago.
Courts is well known as the Caribbean's largest retailer, providing consumers for generations with the very best products to enhance their homes. This year, we bring our expertise to businesses. Courts Business Solutions will serve small, medium, and large companies with the very best products at the most competitive prices, backed by warranties and after-sales support. Hoteliers, office managers, restaurants, and so many more. Courts Business Solutions, a brand of the Unicomer Group.
Are you in a dispute with a registered investment service provider of the TTSEC? Or maybe you're the victim of an investment scam? You can lodge a complaint or submit an anonymous tip to the Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission. Download our Investor Protection app or go to ttsec.org.tt to access our complaint form or submit an anonymous tip. Write a clear summary of your complaint. Submit copies of supporting documents along with the originals for verification. Provide a copy of the feedback received from the entity regarding your complaint. All investor complaints or scam reports submitted by the public are acknowledged and reviewed by the TTSEC. Investigations are pursued based on the outcome of the review. Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission, protecting the interests of investors and the public. You invest, we protect. Everyone benefits.
When the game is on, you don't want to miss the best moments. With AMPLIA TV, you can enjoy our ultimate sports package and watch your favorite games on the go. Stay connected and informed with sports news, scores, and stats with AMPLIA's fastest internet speeds. Up to 1 gigabyte fiber internet, you can stream riveting football action, cricket, NBA games, and much more. With AMPLIA, it's game on. Visit amplia.co.tt or call 800-4663. AMPLIA. Do more, live more.
Welcome to Tobago Glass Supplies Limited, where innovation meets excellence and the service reigns supreme. Our commitment is simple: to provide high-quality, innovative aluminum, vinyl, and glass solutions for both commercial and residential spaces. At TGSL, we don't just meet needs, we exceed expectations. Our range includes the finest aluminum cladding options, setting new standards in durability and style. Driven by our passion to elevate, we aim to be the leading supplier in the Caribbean market while retaining our identity as a family-owned business. Because at Tobago Glass Supplies Limited, it's not just about products. It's about relationships, it's about you. Innovation, quality, service. That's Tobago Glass Supplies Limited.
Welcome back. Tobago's financial landscape is undergoing its most radical transformation in these 3 decades. Following a record $3.72 billion budgetary allocation for fiscal 2026, the Office of the Chief Secretary has appointed Councillor Petal Ann Roberts, the island's first female finance secretary, to lead a task force to modernize the Assembly's financial regulations. The goal? To finally end the era of paper checks and the tradition of manual accounting that has left the THA vulnerable to fraud. Reporter Jewel Green George has the details.
For 30 years, the Tobago House of Assembly has operated under financial rules that predated its current legal structure. Despite attempts by every Chief Secretary since Ho Choy Charles in 1996 to update these regulations, the manual way has remained the island's doctrine. But last week, Chief Secretary Farley Augustine declared that tradition means nothing in the face of inefficiency and crime.
We are asking Mrs. Petal Ann Roberts to chair another task force, and we are going to give that task force just 3 months to generate modern financial regulations for the Tobago House of Assembly.
The urgency for this overhaul is driven by a sobering reality: sophisticated check fraud. In 2025 alone, the THA reported successful and attempted fraudulent activities involving forged signatures and stolen checkbook sequences. One high-profile case saw a contractor in Trinidad lose thousands after accepting a fake THA check that perfectly mirrored the Assembly's new consecutive check number.
That check that was issued reflected the next consecutive number that we had in our checkbook. And so when we say we take a policy that anything over $5,000, you have to get that payment via ACH in your bank account, it's because it will take away the risks associated with issuing checks.
Transitioning to a digital-first economy isn't without its hurdles. Many young workers in programs lack basic bank accounts due to stringent national banking rules requiring steady income streams. Roberts' task force is now charged with re-engineering the system, introducing an integrated financial management information system to digitize everything from budgeting to financial statements.
And this administration will not keep for doctrine the laws of public servants and public officers. We'll keep the laws of the country, full stop. Tradition means nothing in that regard. If it's not a law, then we can change it. And we can change it for greater efficiency.
With a 3-month deadline to present these new regulations to Parliament, the pressure is on Roberts to move Tobago's $3.7 billion purse into the 21st century. Jewel Green George, Tobago Updates Television News.
The era of the Orange Building handshake is officially over, as the Tobago House of Assembly moves to solidify its billion-dollar developmental agenda. Chief Secretary Farley Augustine has secured a major win for oversight, recruiting the nation's former top procurement watchdog to lead a new task force. The move aims to protect local contractors while navigating the strict landscape of the Public Procurement and Disposal of Public Property Act. Jewel Green George has this story.
In a strategic play to bridge the gap between national compliance and island-specific needs, the THA has turned to the man who literally wrote the book on modern Trinidad and Tobago procurement. Munilal Lalchan, the country's first procurement regulator, has been appointed to head a specialized task force on an initial 3-month contract. His primary mission? Creating a bespoke system for THA contracts valued under $1 million.
We are engaging him on a short-term basis, short-term employment basis, 3 months in the first instance, and he will lead a team that will create for us the regulations for all procurement under $1 million.
For local firms, the stakes are high. The Secretary is seeking a legal interpretation from the courts to determine how much weight locality can carry in a bid. Currently, legal advice suggests that favoring a Tobago firm too heavily could be seen as an unfair skewing of the process, a risk the THA isn't willing to take after landmark cases like the Calco litigation proved that lack of financial capacity cannot be ignored for the sake of building a man.
So I have instructed that we go to court for interpretation on the extent to which we can use locality as a feature in our tendering process.
The transition isn't just about law, it's about education. The newly formed Division of Legal and Intergovernmental Affairs will now hit the road, taking procurement training into community centers. The goal is to ensure small contractors understand that things like 50% mobilization fees are now a relic of the past under OPR rules.
What makes for a good tender? What are the mandatory documents you must have for your tender to even be considered in the first place? What are the steps? What are the processes? Many people think that we are still in the days when you go up by that orange building there in Spring Garden, and you go and you beg a man there with an afro to put down your name on the THA system and be listed, and then somehow that means you will get a contract. That no longer exists.
With the Lalchan task force now active, the THA is signaling that while they want to empower Tobago's firms, they will do so strictly within the four corners of the law. I'm Jewel Green George for Tobago Updates Television News. Every day we bring you closer to the issues that matter most.
The Zones of Special Operations (ZOSO) bill gives law enforcement enhanced powers to target crime-prone communities, while also promising social interventions to improve safety and development in affected areas. For our social media poll today, we asked, do you support the new Zones of Special Operations (ZOSO) bill passed in Parliament? 69% voted yes, stronger security in crime hotspots. 26% voted no, too much power to law enforcement. 1% voted mixed security in needed but safeguard matter. 4% voted undecided, waiting to see results. Remember, your voice counts too. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram and join the conversation by voting in our daily polls. Now for a look at the weather update from the Trinidad and Tobago Met Office. The Trinidad and Tobago Meteorological Service has advised that clear and cool conditions are expected tonight across Trinidad, Tobago, and the remainder of the Lesser Antilles, accompanied by a light breeze. There is a low chance of a brisk shower, but generally fair conditions will prevail. Overnight temperatures are forecast to fall to around 23 degrees Celsius at Piarco and to 24 degrees Celsius at Crown Point, resulting in cool and comfortable nighttime conditions. Tomorrow is expected to be sunny, hazy and breezy despite the odd early morning and late afternoon shower. A moderate concentration of Saharan dust remains present in the atmosphere, and sensitive persons are advised to take the necessary precautions. Overall, fair weather is expected to dominate throughout the day. Daytime temperatures are forecast to reach approximately 31 degrees Celsius at both Piarco and Crown Point, with heat index values rising to near 35 degrees Celsius, making conditions feel quite warm during the afternoon. Marine conditions will remain moderate but occasionally rough in the Leeward Islands. Open waters will experience waves ranging between 2 and 2.5 meters, occasionally rising above 2.5 meters in the leewards, while sheltered areas will see seas up to 1 meter. Marine interests are advised to exercise caution, particularly in rougher open waters. Across the remainder of the Lesser Antilles, fair, breezy, and hazy conditions are expected tonight and tomorrow, with the odd isolated shower possible. Sunrise tomorrow is forecast for 6:29, with sunset expected at 6:05. And that's all the time we have for tonight's Tobago Updates news. Have a good night, but before we go, let's recap the headlines. Government shifts traffic fines to warnings. .cat reaffirms visitor safety, and new $400 million Scarborough secondary coming.